This is a flip through of 6 small journals I made using 6x9. The envelopes, the like document style envelopes. It has Victoria Designs papers on the back, on the front, and the there's labels, I think also from her. There's some scrapbook paper I've used to create this little flip out. Some vintage London train book schedule. This has, I made some collage pages, front and back. I added some ephemera bits on the top, inked it up, and these make these journal cards that go inside. This, each one has different ephemera bits that I've glued on. These each measure 4.5 by 6.5 with a 1/2 inch spine. The book is 24 pages, 48 size of various papers. My old ledger paper. These were old time cards from records, labor records, and public works department from the city of Marlborough here in Mass. I'd say they probably go back to the 60s, 70s. This is a newer weekly time record, trifold, that I folded and distressed and made it look old. This is original ledger I had bought. It's original pieces. I have cut them into, I think it was halves, to fit in here. They were very big pages as they go to the other side. So you'll have a flip out on that side and then a flip out on this side. I'm pretty certain that's how I did it, or I glued them together, one way or the other. But they're pretty big pages. There's other vintage pages. I've created little tucks. I didn't feel like cutting them off, so you can tuck things in. Some papers I found at a thrift store. I think it's for softball, baseball, t-ball. And then these were a receipt book that I've left with the white and the yellow on it. Another old ledger page. I found at a thrift shop some stationery paper. It was really pretty. Some more ledger. This is a City of Marlborough that my husband found a box of their old typewriter paper that has watermarks on it. So they no longer use it. So he brought it home. It has a cotton content. The watermark tells you the cotton content. I can't see it right now. I put in some mulberry paper. More of the ledger in the center here. The City of Marlborough. And I tipped this and made a little tuck there. And this is the reverse side of all those pages. The back of the notebook, I forgot, yeah, I showed the front, and I put on book plate. This is just decorated up with the labels, some faux vintage tape, a lot of Tim Holtz products, and fabric tapes and washi tapes. Tim Holtz paper. I made a little notebook. Various like dot paper, journal paper, dot paper, and plain journal paper. It's a little notebook. Each one is about the same except for the covers, and of course this was all created on a collage board, so these would be a little bit different. The journal cards. All been stitched around with like cream colored thread I've used around it. I'm calling this number 1. Number 2 is the page she had. They're all background pages and that it was like a sort of bingo cards. And this was from a different place. I forgot. Collage sheets. Kitty, down, 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 down. Kitty's jumping up here. I don't want you up here. The journal cards in this one. This would be the same kind of stuff, different like stickers that I put. Similar there. The booklet's always going to be different because it was different Tim Holtz papers. I think I used the 6x6 squares that he gives in his paper packs, or that he used to give in his paper pack. This was from a scrapbook paper set. This is the Tim Holtz, also on this larger journal card in the back. It was made with Tim Holtz scrapbook paper. These are fun to make. They'll be fairly inexpensive. I also put burlap on one of the spines, and this is a removable booklet. It's removable on that elastic. And Tim Holtz and some braided trim, some Tim Holtz fabric tape again on this spine. That's 2. Number 3 is just various like background papers that she collaged up of various, looks like invoices, and that's what it looks like, invoices. And this journal card. This one. Really pretty. I use a splatter stamp on these. It just looks really cool. And same thing, and then this would be, this was some kind of printable, some vintage invoices, the time record, and the ledger. I love this paper. It's nice, heavy paper, so if there's blank spots, you could still write. This one's from 28 to 34, 1928 to 1934. I think the book went from 28 to 45 or something like that. It's a big ledger. And this will be this booklet. These are just so much fun to make. I love making the tags and stamping on them with the Tim Holtz stamps on both sides. They just came out cool. And that's at those red hanging file folders. They're really strong, heavy-duty file folders. That's what I made the cover with. They're really thick. They were old. This is 3. This is 4. It's a similar paper to that. It's like various invoices on it. And the postcard. I used a lot of the train station bits and pieces from the train book in some of these. These were stamped on a manila file folder, and I've aged it and distressed it and stamped on with like this, I think it was aged mahogany from Tim Holtz inks. And this one is I just love these old ledgers. This is this little booklet. It's the 6x6. I think it was the gentleman one, or and this card. I just love the way these came out. Like I said, these are removable by the center. I did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on the booklet. I think you can buy booklets to replace in there of the lined paper to replace in here if you do not wish to use this one and have that as a separate journal. That'd be fun. This is number 5. It's a bigger set of papers, but I think it's like checks. I think that one was like checks, and then the back part is in the invoices and inventories. And she makes some of the best background papers. And then this one. I just love it. Like I said, putting these together was just so much fun. This one is going to 29 to 30, 1930. And a little booklet there. I just wanted to show each one separately because you may want something different, something more bold. That's 5. And this one's 6. And I even decoupage lined papers, grid papers on the back, collaged on the back, so it looks really cool. And 28. $19.28 and 29 and 1929 and 30. Yep, there's one here, 1953. So it must have gone to 53. It's a big book. And here's a little booklet. And that journal card. Thank you for looking and have a great day.